It's great to be here in my home away from home, Region 1, getting her done. We've talked about this. It was my home away from home before it became, my home now in this position. This has been terrific. I don't know if anyone else feels this way about Thunder Bay, but it has been wonderful. I'd like to give Region 1 and Thunder Bay a round of applause. J'aimerais dire un gros bonjour tout spécial à nos membres francophones. Je suis très fière de mon bilinguisme et j'espère parler plus souvent en français dans mes discours et dans les médias. Sachez que je suis ici pour vous et que j'aimerais entendre vos commentaires sur ce que vous aimeriez voir de A, I, I, O, that's Ona en français, d'un point de vue francophone. Merci. So, first of all, last month, Ona held an election in Region 4 to vote in the next vice president. 3 candidates put their names forward, and I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of you for stepping up and putting your name out there. It is a difficult thing, and it takes a lot of courage, and I thank you. So it is my pleasure to introduce our new Region 4 Vice President, Grace Pires. She is a local vice president for Local 75, St. Joe's Hospital in Hamilton, and she will begin her term on July 1st. I'm looking forward to working with you, but it's continued work with Grace. We've worked together for some time, and I know you will guide and lead Region 4 with energy and pride. Welcome, Grace. The ONA board is here to work on your behalf. Each board member holds a specific portfolio in which they lead and help develop initiatives and underpin this work. With my election as provincial president, the board needed to look at portfolio assignments. So effective July 1st, the board portfolios have changed, and they are. Darn Armstrong will be taking education. Grace Pires, health and safety. Human rights and equity, Karen Mackay-Eden. Labor relations, Alan Warrington. And the illustrious local finance I'll be passing the torch to Bernie Robinson. There are a couple of changes to the composition of board committees also effective July 1st, and they are Quality of Services to Members Committee. Alan Warrington will become the chair, and Grace Pires will join this committee. That's great. One of the best committees, Governance and Nominations Committee. Bernie Robinson will join this committee. Let me just get a quick drink here. Sorry, I'm a little dry. Region 1. We will be hearing the board committee chairs tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that. So before I begin my report on the work of the union, I'd like to take a moment to talk about ONA. It's our union, started by nurses for nurses and healthcare professionals. ONA turns 50 this year. I say glorious ONA. ONA has stood up for us through thick and thin and triumphed and broadcasted our workplace wins. Our ONA that has fought tooth and nail with the Ford government and has won some historical challenges, including pay equity and the defeat of 124. We know Bill 124. But our union, including many in this room, was a bit tired, a bit shell-shocked. And that was because of the never-ending regressive employer demands and bad government decisions, not to mention the many ways in which the pandemic took our breath away. But I'm here to tell you that the rumors of the decline of ONA are false. False. God love her. ONA still has her spark. You can see it here in this room today. It's feisty and demands the best for our frontline workers. I have seen over the past few months, and I've seen, experienced, smelled, listened, heard that ONA is experiencing an awakening of sorts. Because the truth is, ONA is us. Repeat it. ONA is us. And we are fighting back like never before. Never before. Everyone in this room, members are standing up for our collective bargaining rights through rallies, marches, and pickets, through countless articles in newspapers, radio, TV, digital, social media, in communities, and it's happening province-wide. When have we seen this before? You deserve a round of applause. Thousands of members took actions to demand better staffing, better wages, and better care. Thousands. That's like never before. Thousands across this province. So I was in Sudbury during Nurses Week with Kelly Latimer and the fantastic Local 13 and Kelly's amazing members. It was awesome. And at this get-together, the Chief Nurse Executive of Health Sciences North spoke. And that was nice that she was there. I will give her that. That was very brave of her. She attempted to address some of the issues. We all know the issues, but she spoke over and over again about there being more jobs than nurses, like it was sort of a news flash. She said that oh dear, sorry, Kelly. She said, and I quote, "We are doing everything we can." So I turned to Kelly and I asked her, "Kelly, do you want me to be Erin about this? And shall I tell it like it really is?" And Kelly, God bless you, Kelly, you said, "Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead." So I stood up, cleared my throat. It was my turn to speak. I looked around the room and I began to talk about the past very long decade of healthcare underfunding by provincial governments. I talked about the staffing crisis that became so much worse during the pandemic that we all know. I spoke about how we all want the same things, better staffing and better wages. We want to give the care to our patients that they deserve. In that room, celebrating Nursing Week, we shared a vision of a publicly funded healthcare system that is properly funded and fully staffed for our patients, residents, and clients. This is not rocket science. And then I got loud and I got excited. Wouldn't you agree, Kelly? Yeah. And I wanted to hear from our members, so we did a straw vote on the spot. So I'd like to do the same thing now with you, and I want to see what you have to say. I think we all know what to do. I'll ask the question, and you're going to reply. And we're going to take a little temperature in here and see where we're at. So right now, members in this room, and on Facebook Live, post this in the comments. I want to know, I want to see, I want to hear what's going on. I want to see you clap your hands if you agree. I want to hear you bang tables. I want you to yell it out. So, for everyone in this room and out there, who participated on the pickets that we put up around the province in February in support of bargaining? Who did it? Who came out on March 2nd rally and strode up to Queen's Park? Come on, let me see. That's what I want to see. Come on, a bit louder. Who joined us and supported our die-in in the streets of Toronto during our provincial leadership meeting? Tell me, come on! That's right. So that's what I want to hear. I want to see us be louder. This is our voice. Our voice is important. This voice together in this room and out there today, it is important. So here's my next question. Has ONA undertaken these kind of escalating actions before? No. Have you ever had ONA members actively participate in our rallies the way in which they have in the recent months? No. Before the actions to support hospital bargaining, I believe ONA and our members were hitting rock bottom. We were deflated, exhausted, and frustrated. We didn't have the drive to do anymore. I was one of those people. There was nowhere to go but up. Yet our bargaining actions and our engagement, and through this, we have reignited our movement. We were in a bad place, but we are moving up. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together, bit by bit. We in this room, on Facebook Live, and all our members, we have the power to build. I believe it. I believe it. You need to believe it. We have it. We need this energy to inform the public and push back against the bosses and Doug Ford's government. We need this energy. So let's get it going. Come on. Come on. That's right. That's right. So does anyone know what's going to happen in June of 2026? You don't, yeah, some might be thinking, okay, Erin, I mean, that's a bit far away. It's 3 years from now. Who knows what's going to happen, clearly. Well, in 2026, there will be a provincial election. Ontarians will elect a new provincial government, including, hopefully, a new premier and new MPPs. We have a slide here. I have it down here, that's good. So if you look at this political map of Ontario, you will see conservative country. The majority of the political map is in southern Ontario is a sea of blue. That's a lackluster boo. Come on. I was in another Nursing Week event in conservative country, and I spoke with our members about the connections between what is happening in our healthcare system and the Ford government. How the Ford government has been responsible for eroding patient care. How his government underspent our healthcare by $3.5 billion, according to the Financial Accountability Office. Shame. Interestingly, now this isn't, you know, I have the portfolio of local finance still, so I'm good with a calculator. Did you know $3 billion is exactly the amount of money that it would fund hiring 24,000 registered nurses, which is exactly the number Ontario is short. Shame. So looking at this map, we see where our work is. In every community, we must engage our communities. We must clearly articulate the damage Ford's healthcare privatization plan is causing. We must begin to plant the seeds within our communities about how devastating this government's decisions have been. We will hear pushback, but we will be ready. We must be ready. We must engage, we must mobilize, and we must come together. I'm here on this stage to say that I am ready to lead you and guide you and protect you. The ONA board is here to support you. Now I want to make some noise right now. If you're with me, bang the tables, clap your hands. If you're ready to get loud and engage and mobilize and get going. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It is a grim time for nurses and healthcare professionals in Ontario. Our workloads have become truly unmanageable as staff shortages worsen, if it could get any worse. We are underpaid and overworked, and that is the long and short of it. And the public healthcare system is being threatened by a government that is hell-bent on selling it off for parts. I'm not about to stand silent and let that happen. How about you? Come on. We have a serious fight on our hands, a serious fight to protect public health care in this province. And let me tell you, it is our fight and we must win. Last month, the Ford government passed their shameful new legislation that paves the way for the privatization of hospital care. Shame. Bill 60 is reckless. It is a reckless piece of legislation that is going to worsen the staffing shortage, make healthcare costs rise, and make patients wait longer to get the care they need, and we need to stand up against this. All of this that profits. All of this so that profits go up for the corporate buddies of Doug Ford, the people he cares for. Shame. Here's what Bill 60 does. First, the bill opens the floodgates to more private companies to perform OHIP-covered procedures like knee and hip replacements, cataract surgeries, and diagnostics. We know how this works. We've all seen it before. The private companies set up so-called independent clinics where they accept only the healthiest patients, but I say healthiest and wealthiest patients, for the least complex procedures, and leave the high acuity cases back at the hospitals. Why do they do this? We all know why. Because the for-profit clinics don't make enough money off the complex cases. Doug Ford and his health minister, Sylvia Jones, like to claim that Bill 60 has provisions in place to protect staffing in hospitals. But all the bill says is that private clinics need a staffing plan. We've all seen staffing plans before. We all know how those work. No specifics. There's nothing in there. Nothing that says what the plan must do. Just a plan. These profit-making clinics are going to offer staff more regular hours, lighter workloads, and better pay. So burnt-out nurses and healthcare professionals who cannot get the support they need and the resources they need in the public system will leave for private clinics. And who can blame them? And if the clinics can't get nurses, this bill lets the government, not the College of Nurses, decide who can practice as a nurse in Ontario. How do you feel about that? They, the government, will be able to define in regulations written behind closed doors who is qualified to work as a nurse. It is very clear that once the clinics are set up, patient care will be compromised. In Alberta, Quebec, and British Columbia, provinces where this model has been tried, the results are in, and it's very clear. Costs go up, and quality of care goes down. Wait times for surgery worsen. Also, this just gets me going. So private shareholders can make a buck, and that's a shame, on the backs of our patients. So on May 8th, I joined the Ontario Health Coalition and our union siblings from QPOCHU to speak out against the bill at Queen's Park. Now, this is what Ange was talking about earlier. So after we spoke to the media, we had a press conference. We went up to the public gallery to watch the vote on Bill 60. For more than an hour, I sat there. We watched the opposition grill the PCs over this bill. Our health minister wasn't even there. She didn't even come in till the last question to defend her piece of legislation. It was sickening. We've all worked on the front lines during the pandemic. We know how this government has neglected nurses and healthcare professionals. We know this. We were left without proper PPE. We had to fight for basic protection. We are asked to make sacrifice after sacrifice for years on end. And we were told we were worth 1 measly percent. So sitting there in that gallery, watching this government claim to support nurses and healthcare professionals, all the while they underfund the system. For me, as a frontline nurse, as your president, it was sickening. So, when the PCs, this is a good part, when the PCMPPs stood up and voted for this bill, this harmful bill, my colleagues and I stood up and we called out shame, because it is a shame. The Premier was a little startled by that, because you're not allowed to even whisper up there. And I yelled it again, and I said, shame on you. Shame on you. And I had something else to say, but we won't get into that today. And for that, and for just yelling shame, we were kicked out of Queen's Park, escorted by security, and issued a formal warning, a written warning that if I come back next day, I would be arrested. Excuse me? Since when? Since when is standing up for nurses and healthcare professionals a crime? Since when is defending public health care a cause for arrest in Ontario? Since when? Do you ever remember this happening before? I don't. For years, for 5 years, Doug Ford has refused to listen to nurses and healthcare professionals. Refused to listen to you. Refused. He's too busy following his agenda, cutting funding and creating the crisis we all see in our public healthcare system today. History will not be good to Doug Ford. But right now, it's very clear that I've said this before today, we have a fight on our hands, and we are going to win. Do you agree? That's what I like to hear. We've spoken out at Queen's Park and have made submissions to this government. We've taken to the streets demanding better staffing, better care, and better wages. Because we all know that when we invest in nurses and healthcare professionals, we invest in patient care. We all know this. So again, we need to organize across Ontario, especially in communities with Conservative MPPs who voted for privatization and who are letting emergency departments close in their riding. I promise you, as your president, I'm not backing down. Are you with me? They can kick me out of Queen's Park as many times as they want, but I refuse to be intimidated. I will not stop speaking out on your behalf. I will not. It's true. Ontario's nurses and healthcare professionals deserve more from their government. It is our government. Maybe we didn't vote for them, but it is our government. And we deserve more from our employers. We are going to organize ONA members like never before, because the basic tenet of public health care for all needs defending, and we are going to defend it. And when we fight together, we win. Let's do it. To support our provincial work in telling the truth about privatization, ONA launched a campaign to spread awareness far and wide. That's the best kind of awareness. Our provincial media campaigns bring privatization issues to the forefront with graphic images in newspaper, transit ads, and on social media. We produced a video summary for our excellent campaign. Can you please roll the video? Good, eh? I love this campaign. It's a little bit clever, a little bit snarky, but it brings it up in a dramatic way, and it's eye-catching. And we have received pretty much nothing but positive responses from our members and from members of the community on this. So, want to do a small, quick action right now to support our campaign? Who wants to do it? So some of you have laptops or mobile devices. And nurses, visit our campaign website at nursestalktruth.ca/mailer and send your email to the Premier, Doug Ford, today and your local MPP. I know I'll do it once I get back to my seat. And if you have already sent an email, take the time to share it on your social media accounts so your friends and family can take action. Every action, large or small, helps. Remember that. Every action, large or small, helps. So right now, I haven't seen her yet today. Oh, there she is. I'd like to call up Local 97's Ingrid Garrick. Ingrid? With her local coordinator and bargaining unit president, Ingrid organized balloting on hospital privatization with the Ontario Health Coalition. So, welcome Ingrid. Here we are again.
Yes, once more.
So to start, can you tell us briefly about the referendum that you held and why it was so important for your local to participate?
Well, I answered a call out from Erica Wood. And we had a meeting, a general membership meeting, 2 days from the date that I answered the call out. I called Liz Romano, she's here somewhere, immediately, and I said, listen, this is an opportunity for us to let members know what's really going on. And could we invite Erica and Stacy? They came to this meeting. We had a meeting at noon, and then we had one at night, because you have to have to cover. So we did that, and I was just astonished at how responsive ONA was in getting the ballots out to us. I mean, Liz did the heavy lifting. She went and picked up the ballots and all the accoutrements that we needed for it, and that's how we did it.
We'll give Liz a round of applause too, Liz. So the Ontario Health Coalition announced the results last night. Geez.
That's okay.
Last month. So for those of you who missed it, more than 400,000 people from across Ontario voted. And the result is 98% oppose privatization. So how does it feel to see so many people across Ontario standing up for our public hospital system?
Well, it's clear that that's what Doug Ford told us Ontario wants. It's not what we wanted. I mean, this is a democracy, and it's not a dictatorship. And he's treating it like his own special company where he could, do what he wants to with public funds and public lands, et cetera. So it's important that Ontarians hear from Ontarians what they wish to happen with their hospital, their public system.
You are absolutely right, and they heard from you. Yeah. They heard from all of us. So let's talk logistics. Obviously, it's a big undertaking to organize balloting. Mm-hmm. So how did you coordinate the vote? How did you get it all underway? Liz did the heavy lifting, and then what? So
we went to the office, picked up our ballot boxes, picked up the flyers, all the information on how to do the electronic voting. And we all, there are 5 hospitals, 5 locals. We basically did our own thing. Liz, I think, and Jennifer Cesar from Toronto Western Toronto General, they did a mix of balloting and the online, right?
We did. Do you have a mic, Liz?
We did a mix of both, but Nursing Week was the perfect time because they were coming to get their swag. And our members were coming to get their swag and to say hey to Liz and Ingrid, you know, because they always want to see all of us. And we had a captive audience. It was a great idea to do it at that time. And I think a lot of us did it at the same time. And in our bargaining unit for Toronto General, Toronto Western, they had 2 places where they picked up their swag, but they couldn't get out the door without passing by the ballot box. So it was great.
Yeah. So we're a smaller bargaining unit at Princess Margaret. We have 450 nurses. Started out with 550. But I went floor to floor with my team, and we explained to people what was going on. And some of them have already voted from the meeting information that they got. So we were good that way. We handed out the flyers and told them to get their colleagues who were working nights to do the same thing. And a lot of them voted right on the spot. I called Stacy because I wasn't sure if this was legit okay to do it then, and she said, yes, it's good, go ahead and do it. So we did it. That's how we did it.
So it's important to know that we have staff, you all know, but not everybody out in Facebook Live land knows. We have staff to support these actions. So that's our Stacy that Ingrid was talking about, and Erica. So you felt prepared, you felt organized, you got it underway, and you had this amazing event, Action Go. And what was the response? How did the members feel about it?
They were pumped.
Yeah.
You know, when I explained to them, the ones that I spoke to, that the reason for the referendum vote is because Doug Ford has withheld money that was ours, for the public system, billions of dollars, to set up a perfect storm so he could carve up our system. Yeah. And just explained it that way, that we have to stop him and we have to do everything we can. I mean, I was stopping people on the elevator at my house and explaining to them what Doug Ford was doing. And so I don't think people know. They don't understand the impact of this bill.
But the more we do these things, the more it gets out there, the more actions taken by bargaining unit presidents, the more actions that members take, the more the information gets out there. Yeah. Ingrid, thank you. Thank you for your experience. Awesome. Great. And the fight is not over. We will continue until we ensure that public health care is publicly funded health care is adequately funded and delivered publicly for everyone in Ontario. So, who remembers Bill 124? Boo. Oh, Bill 124. We are thrilled, but not surprised, that ONA and our Labour partners won our charter challenge of this legislation against the Ford government. Who else is thrilled? I am. So our amazing legal team, we have Sharon over here, argued that this bill is unconstitutional because it interferes in our members' rights to free collective bargaining. We won this argument. Again, win after win after win. The judge's decision was swift, and in November, he ruled it as unconstitutional. Yet, here we are today, in fact. The government is appealing this decision, and this is a shame, which further demonstrates their determination to waste taxpayer dollars fighting us in court. Come on. Shame. The appeal is taking place this week, and ONA's amazing legal team is in court representing our members. We are all here with our members, so we can't be down in Toronto while this is going on. I want to make that clear. I can't be in 2 places at once, but it was a hard, if you could cut me in half, I would gladly be in both places. I don't know which half you'd get versus them, but I'd like to play a brief video about our Bill 124 win. Late in 2022, ONA celebrates. Bill 124, Ontario's public sector wage restraint legislation, is ruled unconstitutional.
This has been a long 3-year battle. We have won.
Our members have been front and center in the fight against Bill 124. Attending rallies, sending tens of thousands of emails to Premier Ford, and calling decision makers to help further our cause. The court victory is significant and defends members' right to free collective bargaining against a bully government intent on attacking workers. In April, arbitrators assign additional monetary increases in the hospital and nonprofit nursing homes sectors. Unlimited coverage for mental health benefits are also received by hospital members and their dependents. Despite these measures, nurses and healthcare professionals know it's not enough. Meanwhile, the Ford government continues to defend Bill 124. They have formally appealed the court's ruling. We must continue to mobilize and fight for increased retention, better staffing, wages, and care. Together, we'll take action in our workplaces, our communities, and at the very seat of government in Ontario to support our priorities. It's time to invest in nurses, to improve access to timely, safe, and quality care. It's time to value nurses and the patients they care for. How will you fight for better?
Yes. So immediately after the court's decision, ONA contacted the arbitrators of the contracts that were impacted by Bill 124. Our contracts needed to be reopened so that the additional wages and benefits could be awarded to our members. The arbitrators' decision, and I will call them decisions, provided an additional few extra percents to hospital members and added unlimited mental health coverage for members and their dependents. Members in charitable nursing homes were also assigned some additional retroactive pay, which is fantastic as well. But these meager wage increases are not enough. They will do nothing to retain and recruit staff to a system that is already suffering from severe shortages. We have seen the highest inflation rates in a generation, and these arbitration decisions do not even come close. Like you, the board and I are deeply disappointed and frustrated with these imposed and binding decisions. And now we wait. Early this year, we completed the current round of hospital bargaining with the Ontario Hospital Association. Unfortunately, again, without reaching a negotiated agreement. In May, the ONA board, the Hospital Central negotiating team, and ONA staff were once again presented our demands to an arbitrator. The arbitrator's decision is expected to be released in the next few weeks. We put together a video about our bargaining work. Can you roll it, Linda?
As the year opens, contract talks between ONA's 60,000 hospital members and the Ontario Hospital Association begin. ONA members are determined to negotiate a better contract that meets our demands and improves patient care. Negotiations quickly become frustrating. Clear priorities tabled by ONA members are met with a disrespectful response. Retaining hospital nurses and addressing widespread staffing shortages requires a thoughtful deal for nurses and our patients. Results of the arbitration decision are expected in the summer. Regardless of the outcome, ONA members will tenaciously keep up the fight. Our patients and our public hospital care can afford nothing less.
Although I became president officially on May 1st, you all know in this room and on Facebook, I've been listening to members for quite a while now. I am a member. I hear the frustration, but I felt the frustration. We are hearing the disconnect, and we are hearing about the way in which ONA can fill some of the gaps. We need our members to be engaged, and we are looking at changes in these processes. Some of you have said that you want more transparency around bargaining. I agree. The board agrees. When the next hospital arbitration decision is released, ONA will be providing to you the information that we have not ever previously provided. We will tell you what ONA asked for at the bargaining table. And what the arbitrator decided upon. This is an ONA first, and I'm here to tell you it will not be the last. We need to be more engaged in bargaining. We know this. And aware of details. I agree with this. The board agrees with this. And we are looking at how we can deliver. And we are excited to continue down this road, our road, to a more transparent and open union. But actually not more transparent, a transparent and open union. And we are looking forward to working alongside of all of you doing this. This is where we're going. So one thing is clear, whatever the arbitrator's decision, and we must continue to fight. We must continue to fight for better staffing, better wages, and better care. The stronger we get collectively, the more we will win. Let's do it. So we held a series of actions to build up in workplaces, to win, to build our power. You'll hear this over and over and over again from me. Our demands are the same: better staffing, better wages, and better care. We created a hospital contract action team, which met weekly to build local capacity. Learn how to hold one-on-one conversations. Everybody hears me talk about one-on-one conversations, but they work. That is the truth. They work. And plan for local and provincial actions. And you did not disappoint. Our Sticker Up Unity action sparked member conversations across the province about participating. Who remembers the Sticker Up? The second action involved all-out pickets at 40 workplaces and MPP offices across Ontario. Come on, who took part in those? In snowstorms. I was in a snowstorm. After that, this was a good one. Our all-out shutdown protest that we saw in the video that took place in Toronto just as Hospital Central bargaining was wrapping up. Labor partners, community and nurses and healthcare professionals from across Ontario, they joined us. When have we seen this before? It's an army. It's coming together. They came with us to demand a fair deal for us. The sight of so many people supporting us was incredible. There were many reporters out there, employers, I almost said employers, well, they're probably talking about it too, but reporters were certainly talking about it and talking about us across the province about our issues. Next, we turned up. We turned up the heat, turned the dial, did something we haven't done before again. With the Time's Up, Better Care Now die-in. More than 300 ONA members, more than 300, think of this, laid down on the street near Queen's Park to send a message to Doug Ford. Understaffing and years of underfunding and having a deadly impact on healthcare. Who was there? I remember laying there, freezing on the street, and I wouldn't have changed it for a minute. It was impactful and profound. Donna, I remember that picture of you. I can't talk about it, Anyway. So finally, we reached out to our communities through the Community Day of Action for Better Care. Members engaged in discussions with friends, colleagues, members of their community, asking everyone to sign our legislative petition. Who was there? I was, with my local, and 139. More than 6,600 Ontarians signed the petition, and the NDP delivered them in Queen's Park between May 9th and June 1st, and that's fantastic. The work we accomplished during this round of bargaining was about building capacity, and I am absolutely thrilled. Those who know me well know that this is me. I am thrilled to be part of this organizing and the work that we're doing, because I can't wait to build it up. This is just the beginning. So there is so much going on and so much more to do. And I have to take a pause there because there is so much more to do. This is just the beginning. So I'd like to update you a bit on provincial organizing and mobilizing. Over the past 6 months, ONA has joined forces for the first time with OPSU, CUPE, Unifor, and SEIU Healthcare to launch a joint anti-privatization campaign. It's remarkable. It is a remarkable moment for us and our labor family. We are coming together with other unions. We need to come together in ours, but we're coming together. We're raising the alarm. We are doing what we need to do, raising the flag or sounding the alarm, same thing. But we need to bring to the forefront what is going on with Doug Ford's privatization scheme across the province. 5 work locations have been chosen for actions because of the crossover in the 5 unions in these facilities. Each group, and this is another level going on. Each group is working at the local level as a joint union action committee with representatives of each of the 5 unions present in the facility. Some don't have all 5, and we've picked them, but we work collaboratively. Annette, you're up. Their initial task was to identify leaders in each unit that could have one-on-one conversations. Here you go again, you're gonna say this, Erin and her one-on-one conversations with their coworkers, asking them to sign a petition demanding that the hospital CEO and the Ford government stop privatization now and invest in public hospitals to meet community needs. So far, this amazing work has achieved a lot. Kingston. A joint union rally in Kingston with CUPE, OPSU, and ONA members, where a majority, 60% of 2,400 healthcare union members at Kingston Health Sciences Center was achieved. And you delivered it. And you delivered your petition to your CEO, and I think that is awesome. Well done. Good on you. St. Joe's, led by the local 75 folks. Well, I was just at a rally last week at St. Joe's in the pouring rain. Over 60% again of the members of CUPE, OPSU, and ONA, SEIU as well too, Grace. No, but they came to take part. We were there, we had a great time in the pouring rain. There was well over 100 members out there, and we weren't able to deliver the petition to the CEO because he wasn't in that day. I might have got the memo we were coming, but that did happen, and it was great. It was a great day. And other locals from Region 4 joined in that one too. I have to celebrate that, so some solidarity. The next hospital close to reaching 60% is Unity Health in Toronto, and that is coming along. We'll be doing that in July. So ONA reached 60% at all 3 sites, and the bargaining unit executive was doing an incredible job at organizing. Where's Local 95? Janice isn't here.
I'm here for Local 95.
Yeah! And next up, the infamous St. Mary's General Hospital in Kitchener. Deanna, you're working away to get to your 60%. We're doing that next week. That's correct. And Thunder Bay Regional and St. Joe's in Thunder Bay will continue to sign petitions and prepare for joint union rallies. This is remarkable that this is happening, 5 unions across our regions at five sites. And I think we need to give them a round of applause. So this campaign will continue to build strong local structures and escalate actions over the summer and into the fall. We will continue to protect public health care with our allies and the community. So far, 2023 has been a blur for both member mobilizing and never-ending list of requests for media interviews. I am so proud to tell you that ONA continues to be in the news almost every single day. It is our intention to keep that up. The first quarter at ONA, the media covered our issues and our actions more than 500 times. 500. And this is extraordinary. No other union I know of gets this kind of consistent, broad media coverage. It's a testament to you, to your energy and your commitment to our professions that we continue to make the news so often. Who knows Bernie Robinson? Bernie Robinson, who so ably stepped up to be ONA's interim provincial president, was a steady and measured spokesperson early this year. You have my commitment that your union will always do its best to keep up our presence in the news and keep up the fight for you. So let's take a look now at some of the recent highlights with this ONA action video. Oh, I'm going this way.
In 2023, ONA members and their demands are in the media more than ever. From early January, ONA members' stories dominate media coverage.
An Ontario court has struck down Bill 124.
Bill 124.
Our victory in our charter challenge of Bill 124 and the start of hospital bargaining captures province-wide coverage. ONA is featured in 510 media stories in the first 4 months of 2023 alone. The Globe and Mail, the Toronto Star, plus many local news outlets showcase our stories. CBC, 680 News, and Blackburn Radio Syndication share ONA's message.
It's a historic win for us, really.
Global News, CTV, and CP24 capture our passion. Digital media outlets and specialty magazines like Chatelaine highlight ONA's top priorities. Media coverage of ONA local pickets saturate the media and reach a huge proportion of Ontario's population. The level of awareness of nurses and their issues rises dramatically. More than ever, ONA provincial and local leaders engage the media and raise our voices.
So make no mistake, ONA has a lot to say, and we are going to continue to do so in the media and to you, our members. Given this, we are working on aligning our communications to ensure we are sharing union information where and how you want to receive it. To help, our CGR, or Communications and Government Relations team, has launched a short survey which you would have received, which is open to all ONA members and as part of a broader research. The information gathered will be used to plan and develop our union communications. The survey, we have it up there now? Brilliant. The survey is at www.ona.org. I think you have this on your tables too, /comms, COMMS, and it only takes about 5 minutes to complete. The deadline to participate is August 15th. If you have any questions, email our CGR team at onamail, this is a tongue twister, at onamail@ona.org. There we go. So I'd like to circle back on a fact that I said earlier. Ontario is short more than 24,000 nurses. Shame. We need at least that many just to catch up to the national average per population. This is why it is completely dumbfounding and asinine that hospitals are laying off nurses. It is a shame. And you heard me right. You heard me right there. Hospitals are laying off nurses. Nurses are being laid off, and I fear we're likely to hear about this a bit more, given the government's healthcare underfunding to the tune of $3 billion. And this is a shame. So I'd like to ask Local 134, there we go, coordinator, Char Lamarant, to come up to the stage. Okay, so with her bargaining unit president at Stevenson Memorial Hospital, Carrie Finn, Char organized a Fight Back campaign to oppose layoffs of 13 nurses at Stevenson Memorial. So welcome, Char.
So as Erin has already alluded to, the fact that there was layoffs was just dumbfounding. I want to give you a little bit of history about this hospital. It's a small community hospital like many people work at. They have very limited resources. The hospital was actually opened back in the 1920s with funding from Loblaws, so completely community-based funding. And then in the 60s, it was expanded to now serve about 7,000 patients a year, and it hasn't expanded in size since then. They now serve over 40,000 patients a year, including supporting the staff of Honda and all their supporting companies in the area. Prior to this unit, the high acuity unit being opened, I would get calls from the bargaining unit president who was in tears. They would have very critically ill or injured patients that they were not set up to care for. One doc on site, no RT on site. And they were reliant on critical care. So they would call my hospital, RVH, they would call South Lake, they'd call Toronto, and everyone would say, no room in the inn. And so now they're trying to take care of these patients. Pandemic happens, and suddenly the funding comes available for what's called a high acuity unit. They hire in total 14 critically cared, trained nurses for this unit. And then suddenly this spring, because you know the pandemic is over, and people don't have any other critical illnesses, nor are they ever critically injured, no. The high acuity unit was no longer required or going to be funded by the government.
Shame.
Less than 2 weeks' notice to be told, you have no work to come back to.
Shame, shame, complete disrespect.
Absolutely.
So you knew right in there, you knew you had to fight back. So what was your plan?
So one of the first things I did was I called Erica. Thank you. I don't know if she's here, but gosh, she's a great person to work with. And she had made arrangements for postcards that got delivered to our PLM, which was like the week later. All of those that attended, including most of you, signed our postcards, which we really, truly appreciate it. And we got them sent to Tim Wilson, the MPP. At the same time, we took these home and started getting members and community people, including patients, to sign these. And we started firing those off to Tim Wilson. So I was mailing 2 to 3 times a package of 50 to 100 postcards. And Carrie was actually going in and dropping those off 2 to 3 times a week. When she first started going, he was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." By the 3rd week, he was like, "Oh, not you again."
See? Action.
I also sent an email to the president of the Honda company saying, "Hey, are you aware that if your people get hurt, Alliston can no longer really support you? They took away this funding." I got told that that wasn't appropriate. So the next week, I saved up all those, no, not by you, saved up all those postcards, and I mailed him those. See, the community agrees with this too. And then at the same time, again, with the help of our governance, we were able to get together an email campaign and just started firing those emails every day. And I told people, I don't care if it's the same person 10 times a day. Just keep it going.
Keep going.
Overwhelm that mailbox, overwhelm their email boxes, whatever it is for them to understand how important this is to that community.
So I loved that this campaign was not only digital, that you had this postcard, you talked about this. Tell me how many trips you made over there. Tell me how he got cranky about you being, tell them, because this is a good story.
Well, Carrie was going over 2 to 3 times a week on her way into work or on her way home from work and stopping in his local office and handing them in bulk, and I was mailing them in. And then when I mailed all those to Honda, I got a call saying, "I think you made a mistake. These were for Tim Wilson." And I said, "Oh, I know, but you'll notice that I put a self-postage envelope in there so you could forward them to him. I just needed you to really know how important this is to the community."
Getting an ally. So what about this Conservative MPP? Has there been any response from his office?
Unfortunately, I'd love to tell you that the end of the story was that the high acuity unit is back and the nurses are back working, but I can't tell you that. What we get is out of our hands. Government made the decision to cut the funding. It was only related to pandemic. It's lip service. We are going to be right back where we were before the pandemic with having to say to families, your loved one has diabetes, they're in DKA, and we can't take care of them.
Shame.
Shame.
So this is disgraceful, but we are experiencing the same thing across Ontario. These Conservative MPPs are shameless. They're hiding from nurses and refusing to be accountable for their decision. Char's story is like many stories. It doesn't mean we give up the fight. She has informed the community, more know about what's going on, and we can change the outcome at the ballot box in 2026. Thanks, Char.
Thank you.
So now I'm feeling spicy. Linda. On one end, there are hospitals that are laying off nurses, and on the other, there are workplaces that are using nursing agencies to fill the gaps. Does anyone else see something wrong with this picture? On my first day as ONA president, I was interviewed by a local Kitchener radio station reporter. And in that interview, I reiterated that ONA is calling on a ban on the use of agency nursing. Well, that local interview snippet was picked up all over the place and sort of unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, published across Ontario. But I stand by what I said. agency nursing must be banned, and here's why. Nursing agencies are private for-profit companies. They care about the bottom line and making shareholders rich. That is what they care about. And when a hospital needs an agency nurse to fill a shift, it costs the hospital 2 or 3 times more, plus a fee to the private company that supplies the nurse. Who bears this cost? Taxpayers. And who are the taxpayers? You and me. And the impact on public hospitals is significant. Agency nurse use drains the public system of funds, leaving much less money for other healthcare services. Staff nurses, who are paid much less and have no control over their schedules or very little control, depending on the employer, may leave the public system to work for an agency. And can you blame them? No, you can't blame them. This is not the nurse that's the problem. It's the agency. But how can public hospitals stop relying on private agencies? First, Ontario needs to make public sector nursing appealing and rewarding career again. It needs to be appealing and rewarding. We know this, we've been saying this. Second, why not? This is a real big, this is brainstorm, this is rocket science, but why not pay our public hospital nurses respectfully? Why not? Why not? Third, staff up. Staff up. Give nurses a bit more time, downtime. We don't need to be on a treadmill all day. To spend with their patients, and when they get home, spend with their families. And the ability to provide, that will give us the ability to provide the care we want. The reason why we came into this profession was not to be on a treadmill, not to be disrespected, not to be underpaid. Sorry, it is not. Who's with me? The province has money, and they need to act on this. And as I say, and Deanna will tell you, stat, they need to act on this. So in the midst of bargaining and mobilizing, we celebrated Nursing Week, held from May 8th to the 14th. And our members chose the theme, Lasting Impact, Forging Our Future, or Créer un impact durable, bâtir notre avenir. Our members celebrated with events, and we were all over the place, all of us, and you were too. And there was a lot of work put into them, events across Ontario. And I was really happy to attend some of the celebrations. We have a quick summary of Nursing Week activities. Can we show the slides? That's awesome. And I want to thank everyone who took the time to organize and put on these events. They mean a lot to members. So in conclusion, ONA members, leaders, staff, many of you are my friends. We all know that we have great challenges ahead. Our task is to make inroads and always play the long game to the next election. I have great hope that we are making progress and we will make more progress. We are confident that we have the passion, the tenacity, and the drive to do so. There is no doubt that our climb is steep, no doubt. But now is the time to act boldly, to continue to build our foundation for lasting growth. Continue and bold. Please never forget that the true will of our union, 50 years young, grows stronger every single day. The strength of our members is remarkable. And I know that we will accomplish some great things and amazing things ahead together. Thank you.